Hi, and welcome to another episode of Look Ma No Hands. My name is Linda, and this is my channel where I talk about all things crochet, sometimes art and painting, what I've been reading, what I've been watching, and general life updates. So this week I'll start with what I'm wearing. It is not crochet. I am wearing my favorite one-piece swimsuit, and we'll come back to that at the end of the episode, and I'll explain to you why I'm wearing a swimsuit. What I've been stitching this week, I've been quite busy with stitching. My mom asked me to make a lace beanie for her that she can wear when we go to Las Vegas for my brother's wedding. So when mom requests, I oblige, and she wanted it to match her dress, which is kind of like a gold lame kind of color. It's really cool. She kind of looks like a Grecian goddess. So I figured it has to be a gold beanie. So we went shopping, found some really cool lace weight yarn that I ran with kind of a DK weight acrylic yarn. So the lace weight yarn had gold sequins and it was very gold and sparkly. Combined with this other yarn that I had, the beanie turned out fabulous. She's gonna look great. She really liked it. She wanted it just big enough to cover the top of her head and kind of keep her hair under control. So she didn't have to worry about how to style it or anything like that. She didn't want it to cover her ears because she wants to be able to wear earrings. So I did all the specs she was looking for, and I'll definitely be posting some pictures in a few weeks of all of our fabulous wedding fashions and all of our exciting goings on in Vegas the weekend that we are out of town. When I come back, I'll be making a little video update vlog of all of that fun stuff. The other thing that I made this week is another honor roll vest. This particular pattern is one that I've made several times before. I'm hoping that this one fits the way I want it to. My intentions are to be able to wear it for a conference that I'm presenting at in a couple of weeks. Actually, just a little over a week now. Like I said, hopefully it fits. If not, I'll have to rethink my outfit for that day. But yeah, I really like that particular pattern. It's worked from the bottom up. It has a reasonably lacy look to it, so I'll probably be wearing some kind of like camisole or something under it. I like the fact that it's a vest now for like spring and summer. I don't necessarily need the sleeves, so I don't even really want like a cap sleeve or a short sleeve sweater. Like I said, hopefully it fits. I worked it according to the pattern directions, and the previous few that I've made, I didn't really care for how it fit me. So this one looks a little bit different in terms of like the neckline and stuff, how I did it. I don't know if it was the yarn or if I was just doing a better job of following. I mean, I followed the pattern in the previous ones once I figured out what I did wrong with it. I followed the pattern previously, but I didn't like how low the neckline was. It kind of looks this time like I did a better job of shaping the neckline. Maybe I didn't make the sleeve portion quite as long, or the armhole opening portion quite as long. I have not tried it on yet. I literally just finished it this morning, so I will definitely be trying it on, maybe popping in some pictures on the posts tab to show off what I've done. If I'm not happy with it, like I said, I'll have to rethink my whole wardrobe for the day of the conference. But if it fits great, I'll be super happy. Reading this week, oh goodness. I started reading a book called Really Good, Actually, by Monica Heisey. And I say I started reading it because I got about 30% of the way into the book and I just was not feeling it at all. The premise of the story is that there's a woman in her late 20s who got married in her early 20s, and, well, no, not even her early. She got married like 2 or 3 years prior to the start of the story, and she married like her college sweetheart. So she is kind of lamenting over the fact that her marriage ended so quickly after it started, and that she's not even 30 yet. And the part of the story that I read was just her lamenting, complaining, just going on and on and on about how disappointed she is that she's a divorcee at such a young age, and how her courtship with the guy was longer than the actual marriage itself. And I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, so I abandoned that book. It's not often that I do that. I really don't like putting a book down without finishing it, but this book was just not for me. I think it probably has a lot to do with the fact that I'm in my late 40s, so I could not relate to her at all. It didn't resonate with me, so I quit. I spent several days trying to read that book, which is why I don't have a lot on my list of things that I read this week. But I did finish one other book this week, and that book is called How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kuang. I think that's how you say her name. I will have all that information in the description box below as to the title and author, like I always do. This book was a little bit better. Again, the characters in the book are quite a bit younger than I am, so I think I had a hard time kind of relating to them. I don't know, maybe I'm just not feeling reading right now. I kind of go through like ebbs and flows in my reading list, so I might have to switch genres, or I don't know what I need to do, but this book was okay. It was a cute little romance novel, kind of like enemies to lovers situation, a little bit spicy, some very, I shouldn't say very, some more descriptive love scenes in it, not quite as obnoxious as some books that I've read previously. I don't really care for all of the graphic language and coarse language. It just doesn't jive with me. But those were few and far between, and the story pieces were much more interesting. In this story, our main characters, Helen and Grant, were high school students together. Helen's family experiences the tragedy of the sudden death of her younger sister. Grant plays a part in that part of the storyline, and Helen's parents just find him to be like the absolute villain of their story. Like they very much blame him for the death of their younger daughter. In the way things unfold, Helen starts writing YA novels, and one of her novels is selected for a streaming series. And so she's one of the consulting writers for the series. And then how Grant is pulled into this is he is a screenwriter, so he gets pulled into the project to help write the adaptation of the novels into this streaming series. And Helen is not thrilled with the fact that he's part of the project, but it is what it is, so she has to just kind of roll with it. And them being forced to work together is what leads them into their little romance. So everything played out really interestingly. The kind of progression of their relationship, from her being very adverse to him being part of her story, seemed very natural. Just the fact that they have to be together so much because of the work project and all that kind of stuff, it makes sense that they would end up falling for one another, even though they have some very hard feelings towards each other. There's a lot of history there. I really, for that, when it comes to that part, I enjoyed that part of the story. The relationship between Helen and her parents, Helen being an immigrant child. Well, her parents moved from China to the United States. She has a lot of just like cultural things that she struggles with when it comes to being the daughter of immigrants, and her parents wanting so much for their children to assimilate to the American culture, and then when their children do that, they struggle with the difference between their culture and their children's American culture. So there was a lot of interesting dynamics there between the parents and the child, which yeah, it just, when it comes to that, the book in terms of that was quite well written. That part of it was a little bit relatable for me, being that my dad is from Mexico, and like some of the things that he experienced culturally as a child made us have a lot of just tensions growing up as like an American kid, and him not understanding culture. I remember back in the day watching My So-Called Life in the 1990s, and he would watch with us, and I think I've said this before, like he would watch the show, and at the end of every single episode he would go, "I don't get it." And we would laugh because we're like, of course you don't get it, you're not an American teenage girl in the 1990s, like you're not supposed to get it. I don't think any parents got it, but I think for him it was even more challenging because of that cultural divide. So yeah, like the ethnic divide and things like that, not just generational culture, but like not being born in the US, and just, yeah. So that story was interesting. How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kuang. Yeah, it was much better than really good actually. That book was not really good at all, actually. So yeah, what we've been watching is obviously every week we watch our daily watch of General Hospital, which is getting pretty intense. There's some storylines that are really picking up. We watch Will Trent. I love watching Will Trent. All of the characters in that show have such good storylines, and so I like how they're addressing like PTSD and like all of that kind of stuff, and like how they address Will's dyslexia and like his trauma of being a foster child, and now he's starting to build a relationship with his father. All of that's really interesting to me, so been enjoying that. We watched the season premiere of R.J. Decker. We've been watching Scrubs. We've started watching a few weeks ago the 2001 series of Scrubs, just to kind of like refamiliarize with the characters. And then when they started up the reboot seasons, or season, it's been a lot of fun. I like, when that show first started airing, I didn't really watch it. That was at a time in my life when I did not have time for television. But I do remember catching an episode here or there and thinking, this show is so ridiculous. Now I love ridiculousness. Like, it's just a nice little escape. So yeah, that's been a fun show to watch. We watched 911 and 911 Nashville. The crossover episodes always intrigue me. I enjoyed this week's storyline where Buck and Eddie went to Nashville for a competition, a firefighter competition. That was fun. I'm very much team Los Angeles. I love the 118. So in the competition, that's who I was cheering for. And then of course Grey's Anatomy. Again, just all the storylines in there, like how do they bring in the new characters, how they're developing like the current residents and all of that kind of stuff. I really like that. And then of course all the drama with Joe and Link this week was hysterical. she's very much a Spitfire. I really enjoy how she handles herself with Link, and Link is such a doofus, and I love him. So that storyline was great this week. We watched the final episode of Baking Championship Next Generation, or Next Gen, I guess it was called. I kind of saw where things were going when it came to who would be the winner. The Next Gen season, pretty much from the word go, I voted. I was like, I vote for all of them. They're all fantastic. They're all wonderful. They all have like their own little personalities, their own little dynamics on their little sibling teams. So I didn't really have like a favorite this season. They were all my favorites. They each had their own like little entertaining value to them, and I was happy with who won. I would have been happy with any of them, but it worked out the way it was supposed to, and the little brother from that team had an absolutely adorable reaction. So yeah, it was a wonderful finale for the show. We got all caught up finally on the way home, so we're ready for the new season to start here in a few weeks. Super excited for that. I got my guys interested in it. They are hooked and cannot wait to find out what in the world is going on with all of these characters that like were wanting like some resolution, and every season ends with more questions than the season before. So we want answers. Hopefully we'll get answers, because I think I've read that this is going to be the final season, which I'm so disappointed because I love this show so much. So if Hallmark is out there listening, please don't cancel my favorite one of my favorite shows. It's one of the best shows you guys have on the channel, so keep it running. We really enjoy it. And that's all I have for what I've been reading, watching, stitching. So we'll move on to the life section. As I said at the beginning, I'm wearing my swimsuit. Why? Today I will be headed off, as soon as I'm done recording and editing this, I will be headed off to Dare to Try's multisport clinic. Dare to Try is an organization that I've spoken of before. It is a parathletic triathlon club. They support athletes with disabilities and veterans to participate in triathlons. So every year they have what they call a multisport clinic, where we do training in skills for running, swimming, and cycling. And we basically spend like a whole day, well, whole afternoon, I guess you could say, not a whole day, because the morning time I'm here getting ready for all the fun. Starting midday, head out to the event and meet up with our friends and just have a great time doing yoga and Pilates and running drills for like agility and speed and all that kind of stuff. And then we do some swimming. The facilities that they use for the swimming, they say they tend to keep those facilities on the warmer side, so we don't get like a full workout in. We kind of work more on like tweaking like certain skills necessary for success in the swim portion of a triathlon. If we push too hard in the warm air and warm water of this particular facility, you tend to overheat, and that's just not a good thing. And then they have a cycling studio that we go into and do like a mock race, I guess you could say, or like some training on the bikes. They have like a virtual track that we ride on, where we get on the stationary bikes, and they have I guess you could say technology, where there's computer screens that we are then kind of tasked with keeping up with the program that's put into the computer, where we have to kind of keep pace with the virtual pace keeper. I don't know how to explain it. It's a lot of fun. They have like a virtual course that we ride on, and then there's like a graphic on the chart that kind of shows you like where your target is for how fast you should pedal, and you're trying to like stay within the parameters of that target. At certain points you're supposed to really put a lot of effort into pedaling, and then sometimes you kind of back off a little and take your time and kind of relax and don't have to work so hard. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. So that's what I'm doing today. So keep your eyes out for a little bit of video footage and some fun coming up in the next few days. Probably I'm thinking Wednesday I'm going to drop a video kind of detailing all of the fun that we had over the weekend now with Multisport Clinic. So yeah, it's tons of fun. If you're interested in more information about Dare to Try, I'm going to put a link in the description box. You can go check them out. They're one of the organizations that I really enjoy participating with and supporting, and yeah, it's just a really cool organization. So that's my week in a nutshell. If you are here for the first time, I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Not a lot this week. I have kind of been all over the place. I'm kind of having like a little bit of spring fever, I think. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up if you liked what I have to offer. And for my returning viewers, thank you so much for always coming by and, you know, dropping comments, hitting that like button. I really enjoy just hearing from all of you, and yeah, I've appreciated the support for the last, year or so. We've had a lot of fun so far, and I hope to continue to do that. So yeah, as I always say, if you're having a good time, make sure you drop a line and let me know what's going on in your life. I would say until next week, but like I said, I'm going to be dropping a video here soon to detail all of my multi-sport clinic fun that I've been having. All right, see you later.